Okay, we are already live on YouTube also. So if you want to share this message is for the team who is presenting and also for the rest of participants in the webinar. If you want to share with your friends or family this webinar, you can share the YouTube link that will be shared on the chat part of this webinar. Okay. 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 I think we are ready to start. Just 1 second, please. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening for our friends in Asia. Good morning for our friends in Americas. We are starting this first UNWTO webinar on the UNWTO Students League. I would like to quickly introduce you the UNWTO experts who will be participating on this webinar. And first of all, we have from the Innovation and Digital Transformation team of UNWTO, Mr. Jose Diaz, and who will be representing this department of UNWTO because Ms. Natalia Bayona could not make it to be here today, but we have a good friend, Jose, who will be talking on her behalf. We also have Sandra Carvalho, the head of tourism and market intelligence and competitiveness of UNWTO, Mr. Becca Giacelli from members relations in UNWTO, Mr. Philippe Lemaitre, who is a coordinator office of the Secretary General office of the UNWTO, and myself, who will be participating during this seminar and during this webinar, sorry, as a master of ceremony. So thank you all for making the time to be connected here. And to start with the webinar, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Lucy Gardner. She's a senior expert in education at UNWTO. And Lucy will give a welcome message to you. Lucy is was the creator and is the responsible person for having this excellent initiative of the UNWTO Students League. So Lucy will give us a welcome message. And Lucy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you very much. Well, welcome to this UNWTO Students League webinar. I must say it's an immense pleasure to have you all here and to have many of the teams connected as well. I believe we had up to 150 registered people from the different teams around the world. I'd like to start by thanking the 62 teams who are participating in this UNWTO Students League for your dedication and amazing answers. Every month you have sent us innovative and very well constructed answers for the different challenges. And for this third Tourism Recovery Solutions challenge, you have certainly gone even one step further. We have read solutions from all angles, the public sector, private sector, and for the tourists, ranging from border control solutions, early warning solutions, crowd and queue management, food and beverage solutions, and even really clever apps to raise the trust of the tourists by giving them all the possible information on the destinations that they're visiting in this very particular situation that we are living in. We will, of course, hear the solution of the winning team, but honestly, any of the solutions could be presented here today because they are all excellent and I congratulate you for them. Once again, thank you all, students and experts, for participating here today, and we hope you enjoy this interactive session that we also hope will create future interaction between the teams. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Thank you very much. Now I would like to give the floor to Jose, that I have already introduced. He will be talking on behalf of Natalia Bayona, who couldn't make it today to be here on this webinar. Jose is part of the Innovation and Digital Transformation Department at UNWTO, and he will giving an introduction and explanation on an initiative that this department and the UNWTO had launched last month, and it's the UNWTO Healing Solution Challenge. I think that this experience will encourage you teams, all the teams from the UNWTO Students League, that we can consider a more junior league, let's say, and for you to serve as an inspiration for the future, and maybe you can participate in this type of challenges that UNWTO is presenting. So I would like to give the floor now to Jose, who will be introducing this Healing Solution Challenge. So Jose, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Omar, and thank you, Lucy, and all of you for being here, and all our teammates from UNWTO as well, and all of you students and from this amazing program of Students League. Thank you for being encouraged to create solutions for the future of tourism. I would like to present then how we see this process of the Healing Solution for Tourism Challenge. As Omar said, let me share my screen. Yes, I would like to confirm that you are already.
Yes, we are. We are, Jose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great. On behalf of Natalia Bayona, as you said, Omar, I would like to give this little introduction about the department. Then, what we do in the Department of Innovation is to foster the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. It means providing solutions, helping the new developments to match with governments, investors, and all of the value chain of the tourism sector. So that's why we host challenges, startup competitions, events that we call Tourism Tech Adventures. And from the digital transformation side, we encourage online education as well. And from the investment side, what we do is to connect all these new developments with, for sure, some deal flow, so we can encourage corporates and venture capital to match with the new startups and entrepreneurs as well. In this regard, we have this kind of structure that I would like to share with you, as we truly believe that building ecosystems is the way in which solutions can be implemented in a very organized and harmonized way. So governments, corporations, startups, institutions, investors, academia, and for sure, in this case, the World Tourism Organization, as all the stakeholders that should be all the time like sharing information, sharing knowledge to make the solutions possible. That's why we created, in this response to COVID-19 times, the Healing Solutions for Tourism Challenge. So what we did was to look for the solutions ready to implement, so that in three categories that were people, in the case of health, prosperity in the case of economy, and destinations in the case of destination management, what we could see, and to provide governments, I mean destinations and corporations, these solutions. It was one of the largest calls. We had 1,183 applications in only 4 weeks. And I would like to definitely encourage you to, after this Students League program, to continue presenting projects, ideas, and trying to match them with institutions like ours. We had this participation from different regions, as you can see, more than 9,000 people watching it on streaming. And what we created was a digital platform to interact these solutions with the governments, and we are now piloting some of them. We had 9 top solutions, and they ranged from sanitizing methods to governance methods to scanning to airport support. So through the whole value chain, how we can definitely encourage safe travel, and with security, confidence, and for sure, great services as well. Most used technologies that we saw that were applied by all these participants, the more than 1,000 ones, are virtual and augmented reality, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, and blockchain. Using these ones, they're trying to provide these solutions. We presented them, as I told you guys, to our Secretary General and to all our ministers and authorities of the tourism sector. And nowadays we are working with Canary Islands and Ibiza to pilot some of them. I would like to share then a video with you of this whole experience, how from UNWTO we decided to create these initiatives and how we moved forward to connect them afterwards.
Thank all of you to support us, all ministers. I see many ministers, many state secretaries from all over the world, many friends.
Today, during these challenging times, the world is 100% digital. So I'm pleased to be here today with all of you.
Just like that, everything stopped. Life as we knew it was no more. In response to the novel coronavirus, humanity joined together and shut down. And in this new normal, we will find new ways to continue connecting to communities around the world safely and securely. Secure in the knowledge that you and your loved ones will be safe no matter where you go.
Artificial intelligence is the answer. C-True autonomous AI software connects seamlessly to existing X-ray and CT machines and identifies prohibited items, ensuring that the right bags are open.
And we still develop other kinds of programs and other competitions that will be open from the upcoming month to continue encouraging not only the solutions to restart tourism, but for long-term recovery, such as Sustainable Development Goals Startup Competition that please, I encourage you to follow on our webpage and all the information that we will be releasing soon. And about online education, we encourage you to get some training as well from our courses online and to follow all UNWTO Academy, like this Students League for sure, as you can access to new training methods and new ways to connect with the institutions. What I would like to highlight here is that definitely that one of the agencies, specialist agencies of the UN, having this innovation department, what we are looking for is that always great ideas, new developments, and for sure structured based and sustainability driven solutions are encouraged, connected, and for sure adaptable to our destinations. When we assess these solutions, we always look for scalability and adaptability for a full-time team, the application of the technology, for sustainability indicators, and for sure to have all this coherence with our mandate for a more sustainable, accessible, innovative, and inclusive tourism. From our side and from the innovation department, definitely we would love to continue working to build this new normal, to recover tourism with safety and confidence. And please let us see leadership from all the youth and from all the world, so we would build this new tourism and this world in which we will live in from now onwards. Thank you very much, and we will be same for any questions or comments afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. And now I would like to introduce the university. I would like to give a special thanks to the Hermit University in Vietnam for allowing and encouraging this wonderful group of young students to participate in this challenge. And I would also like to thank especially to Dr. Jackie, who has been the lecturer leading this group of students to find the right solution for this challenge. So I would like to ask Dr. Jackie to introduce yourself, please, and introduce the team. And from there, we will go directly to the presentation of the team. And after that, we will have time for questions and answers. Dr. Jackie, the floor is yours now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Omar. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm greetings from RMIT University, Vietnam. I'm Dr. Jackie Ong, the Program Manager for Tourism and Hospitality Management at RMIT University, Vietnam. Together with me today are my 6 students, the sustainers teams, which include Chin, Lin Chiang, Khoa, Phung An, Chang, and Queen An. They are very passionate about sustainable tourism development. Before we present our recovery solutions on making Spain great again, we would like to take this great opportunity to express our sincere thanks to the judges for the 3rd challenge and UNWTO Student League for inviting us to share with you our recovery solutions. Our presentation will be delivered by Chin and Zhang. Without further ado, let me pass the presentation to Chin and Chang. Chin and Chang, please.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Jackie. Hello, everyone. I am Ching, and I am delighted to present our recovery solution to you. This is the outline for our presentation. So I will begin with the introduction and the situational analysis, the 4 key models, the crisis management models, innovative monitoring technologies models, stakeholder monitoring system skills, and multi-stakeholder engagement and sustainable relationship for tourism recovery. And finally is the benefits for implementing these models. So as you have known that COVID-19 has taken a big hit to our tourism industry, including Spain, the world's number 2 tourist destination is not spared. To make Spain great again and maintain her competition edge, we propose Spain to establish a crisis management plan together with the supportive technologies, a coherent governance network of stakeholders engaged in this transparent collaboration and monitoring process simultaneously. Okay, so to successfully and efficiently implement any workable solution or plan, establishing a comprehensive situational analysis of Spain is critical, and we did this through the PESTEL SWOT analysis as shown in the slide here. So please refer to our page 2 in the document for more details. Okay. So tourism industry, although it's vibrant and dynamic industry, is also very vulnerable to disasters, be it man-made or natural or disaster or disease. So hence having a crisis management plan is therefore critical. In this slide here, our crisis management model consists of 4 key steps of the 4 R's. So the first step is the reduce, which we minimize the pandemic risk beforehand, and then we would be ready for it to prepare the adaptation plan as well as the response to the risk. The step 3 is the response step when you timely react to another outbreak or crisis. And the last one is the recovery step to get back on the foot for tourism through economic recovery, social and human resource improvement, and tourism image and in overall. So in order to implement the crisis management plan effectively and efficiently, tapping on innovative monitoring technology would be a big plus. Here we propose 5 innovative technologies, which are Blue Dot Network, digital passport, AI detection, disinfection chamber, and the thermal scanning image. But you know that having a great advanced technology or artificial intelligence will not help stop the crisis to solve all the problem. So here the monitoring process is very critical, but how to incorporate these technologies in the monitoring process among the stakeholders is our next proposal. So let's take a look at the stakeholders monitoring system at the scale. So this model requires collaboration and cooperation among the stakeholders at multi-levels and layers of the tourism value chain. It ranges from the tourism stakeholders at the international government to the non-government organizational level, to regional, national, and local, and the destination level. And of course, the tourists from the generating destination also. So I will start with the layer of the service providers. So from this layer, they will need to place the human disinfection chamber in front of their hotel and restaurants and even the other so on places. So to provide the tourists appropriate sanitization and safety so that the health check data by AI and thermal images was then send the data to the more connected technologies like the digital passport here to warn the other stakeholders in the same level like the other like the other service providers, hospitals, and local authorities to track the tourist movement and to spot the potential pandemic risk. So the deeper layer will be presented by Chang.
Hello everyone, thanks Ying, and I will now explain this model in expanding scope. For the destination level, when a service provider completes the first step to capture the visitor background, then the surrounding operators, besides receiving the information, must also contribute the useful add-on to the public network. Next, a team of researchers and volunteers will collect additional data sources, collect them to complement the existing ones. They will also discover new treatments and subsidize possibly human resources for the preparedness. On the healthcare system side, apart from the main task of treating infected people, updating the progression to the platform, it will also assist in testing the scientific advances proposed by the researchers. And most importantly, the local authorities will be in charge of the overall situation, especially monitoring the reported cases, assessing the extent of the disease in the area to allocate the resources accurately and call for the support. Stepping out of the destination scale, the local authorities now are tasked with reporting to higher administrations using the Blue Dot data system. At the national level, the government is responsible for disease control by devising policies and preventive plans. To do so, they have to monitor the department strictly. The banking sector will provide financial support to local authorities as well as the marginalized groups, while the industry expert will be the advisor on the policy field, as well as the comprehensive assessment. And certainly the media, acting as the government voice, will update the situation as well and the update the situation and propose the awareness among people nationwide. Then there will be a common approach for the regional and international level, with two leading parties, associations, and governments cooperate on the principle of correspondence using Blue Dot and digital passport. Regional associations will contact to provide EU members the instructions, while the international associations will declare the global announcements and investigate on operational models. On the side of governments, Spain with other EU members and all other countries around the world must prepare the webinars to communicate, present cautions, and exchange the experiences. At the same time, they notify the residents and propagate about the travel procedures. To strengthen the monitoring system would require innovative governance systems to identify and mitigate local and global risks, as part of the risk management and recovery process. As such, we propose our fourth module, which is multi-stakeholder engagement and sustainable relationship for tourism recovery. With 3 stages in total, the first stage, attraction, is about developing realistic and practical policies to engage and attract stakeholders, followed by the integration stage to set out common goals based on consensus, help each stakeholder in achieving their own goals, and stimulate their leadership and mutual assistance. And in the last phase, management, an innovative governance system that opens for improvements and initiatives can be formed. This is the implementation plan and the timeline for the innovative technology, starting from 2020 to 2030, along with the goal in making Spain continuing to be the leading tourist destination in the world. The benefits of adopting and implementing our proposed solution will encompass 4 main sustainable development goals, which are 3, 9, 8, and 17. Moreover, we recommend Spain develop a set of resources planning strategies, which include financial resources, human resources, logistic and marketing plan for short and long term. In conclusion, this recovery solution aims for Spain to be great again as a tourist destination and one of the pioneers in utilizing innovative technologies and applying effective risk management, stakeholder collaboration, and governance model. The development direction of Spain tourism will be focused on safe, innovative, and sustainable tourism. We hope Spain and our industry will be great again. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful, wonderful presentation. I think that any other of the team members wants to make any other comment before we start with the Q&A and part of the webinar? Okay. We will give the floor now. We have a question from Ms. Sandra Carvalho. Sandra is the head of Tourism Market Intelligence and Competitiveness of the World Tourism Organization. And Sandra has a question for some members of the team. I would like the students to answer the questions from the different experts from UNWTO. And before Sandra makes her first question, I wanted to mention that within this webinar and also on the Facebook channel, you can leave your question. If you see, there is a section in the webinar for questions and answers, and also we have a chat. So I encourage all the participants on this webinar to leave your questions for this group, and especially technical questions or questions related to the solution they found. And please put them in the question and answer so we can consider them once we finish with the experts and question and answer part. So Sandra, please, we would like to hear your question for this team.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Omar, and thank you, the team, for the presentation. Congratulations for reaching this far and for such an integrated and comprehensive approach to the challenge. I think that's probably one of the striking elements of your proposal, is how well you captured the different components that need to be addressed. My question is...
You can turn on your camera if you want.
I have my camera on.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
No problem. I think you can see me, right?
Not now, but I think it's if maybe Tiana can help us a little bit with that. But we can hear you perfectly well, so please go ahead.
Perfect. Very good. So as I was saying, my question comes from a marketing perspective, and looking into consumers specifically. The implementation of this system will obviously at the end ensure that consumers are confident enough to travel back to Spain. And my question is, what would be your key marketing message to communicate to consumers this system. I've seen in the proposal that there's a series of methodologies, the use of social media, the use of known figures, but what would be the key message that you would pass to ensure consumer confidence in traveling again to Spain?
So it's now the time for the team to answer. You can choose whoever wants to answer to this question, or you can comment, please.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Linh Zhang. Thank you for your answer. Thank you for your questions. It's a really good questions about marketing. So basically, can you hear me first?
Perfectly well, and we can see you also.
Okay, so about the marketing strategies, we plan to focus on the youth, which is the potential generations for our country as well as the rest of the world. So we want to focus on the youth, the celebrity, the bloggers and influencers, which can inspire other people because they can be the big workforce, like they can be the world labor for us to give out the message of peace, message of health, of safety guides, of travel, of safety travel. So in this case, beside the direct marketing, we also want to have the indirect marketing, the online one, which is the social media. So we have different channels that we want people to raise awareness, to inform about the disease, how dangerous it is. So they will acknowledge about the importance of protecting themselves, getting clean, and wearing masks, and using the hand sanitizers and so on.
Thank you very much. Sandra, is that a good answer for you, or you like to insist a little bit more on this issue? We cannot hear you, Sandra.
Yes, I think now I've just unmuted. Thank you so much, Ongling. I think it's a very important point that you mentioned, which is to inform and transmit transparent information to visitors so that they comply with the rules that are in place in the destination. And also the fact that you're addressing the youth as probably more willing to travel first and more confident in traveling. What would be your message to that youth to actually make them take the decision that, yes, I will go to Spain?
Oh, hello. So may I, I'm sorry, but may I answer your question? So here our focus is on to promote Spain as an image of a sustainable and safe image for people to travel. So as you know, Spain is quite like the #2 tourist destination, and it is very famous. But whether you can inspire the young people to the message, to the destination. So we use the image of young people to inspire the other people that when you come to Spain, it is a new Spain, not the old one with slow response and slow movement, or even like the old images of Spain. But now it's the sustainable image, the image of young people who are willing to do the change and willing to come up with the new solutions and in the dynamic market. So that's why we are choosing the youth to the main marketing campaign.
Thank you very much, WeQ. That answers my question. Thank you very much, Omar.
Thank you for your interesting question, Sandra. Now we have a question from Jose from the Innovation and Digital Transformation Department of UNWTO. So, and Jose, I would like to hear your question for the team.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for these great presentations as well. It reminds me when I was participating in one of these challenges from UNWTO Academy a couple of years ago before entering UNWTO. So keep this leadership and energy, please. It's quite interesting to find that this ecosystem view that I exposed at the beginning of this presentation is reflected in your presentation as well, and in the whole system for your proposal. And from this background, I would like to go with a question from the scalability and adaptability side. I know that we are talking now about the project regarding Spain, but what would be the key feature or the key part of this whole process, whole proposal, that you would be able to adapt or change if we would like to move forward to other destinations as well to impact in a global perspective?
So, which member of the team would like to answer to this interesting question from Jose? Team, you can and view. I think your microphone is not working, and you need to unmute. Yes.
Hi. So yes, so your question is about adaptation and adaptability. So I'm thinking of I'm not thinking of, but it was actually like the one we have presented was based on multiple countries. It's actually like the solution we have proposed that has been tested in many countries in around the world, such as from Taiwan and Korea, and also some countries in the Southeast Asia, which was completely I'm sorry, but successfully have deal with the COVID-19 thing. So my answer here is that the adaptability is depending on the governance system, whether they can build up a coherent network and the transparent collaboration system for people to engage in. So when we are able to trust each other, I think so the country will be adapted to the plan. And then it is also very important that we have mentioned there is that governments should also prepare the supports for the other stakeholders. The most important one are those who are most vulnerable, like the SMEs, the SMEs, the small to medium enterprises, and also some marginalized groups in order for them to have like the ability to stand up for the solution, and also for the other countries regarding their cultural background and some kind of like some kinds of differences in behavior and also like in politic systems. So we also recommend that to adapt to this plan is very crucial that the government should be the pioneers to set up the regulations that is most appropriate to the country, and also people should be like advocated by the influencers, by the most leaders, by the leaders among the industry, among the whole country, in order to follow and then to those who like follow and do the same thing. So that is my answer. Is that answering your question?
Yes, thank you very much for this comprehensive answer to the question, for letting us know about the adaptability for future destinations regarding government engagement, the vulnerable groups, and cultural background. I think it's pretty clear. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jose. I wanted to make some comments regarding some questions that we are receiving. First of all, this is the first webinar we organize with this, and this is the first time we share one solution from one of the teams with the rest of the teams. And the final aim of this, our final objective, is to create a network among the students who are participating in this student league. So instead of having only a contest of idea, we can think about, like Lucy explained at the beginning, this is scaling up. This is scaling up because the type of proposals we are receiving are of a very, very high level. And I mean, all of them. I've been reading almost all of them. So I would like to congratulate all the teams on this. Second thought is that, my second comment is that we will start, I don't know still if we will do it on Facebook or in another format, but we will do, we'll start a networking group in which all the participants of the Student League can interact with each other. So everybody will have the possibility to interact with this RMIT team from Vietnam and among all of you. So this is a new thing that I would like to announce. In a few days, you will be receiving the instructions on how you can start interacting with each other. Some questions that I've been reading also on the chat are related to the format and the length of the work of the university who is presenting. I would like to mention that, of course, the format was part of the evaluation criteria. And as we were starting with this type of contest, we tried not to give so much weight on this part because some teams made sometimes longer, the length of the proposal was a little bit longer, like this may be the case, but in the case of this winning team, it was just references and appendixes. It was not part of the main solution that they proposed. But other teams, for example, didn't have some of the mandatory parts of the challenge, like it may be the SWOT analysis, for example. It was not present, but we tried to give more weight on the ideas and on the solutions presented than in the format. The format, of course, was taken into consideration. It was scored, but the more weight of the scoring system is on the idea, not so much on the format. So I would like to ask you to be a little bit comprehensive with this, and let's try to think about the ideas and not so much on the format. Now I would like I myself to do a question to the team. You are all tourism students, and you plan to have a job in tourism someday. But in some part of your proposals, I read that you are forecasting that AI, artificial intelligence and automation will cut down labor costs. So may I assume that this labor cost cutting down will represent that many job positions will be irrelevant in the future and will disappear because of AI and automation? So how do you, as tourism students and future professionals in tourism, see this? What do you expect? What do you think the new jobs will be once we have these AI and automation things going on? And which jobs will be irrelevant? What new jobs will appear? And what skills are you planning to acquire to face this new scenario in the future? This is my question, because this is related to my specialty, that is education and training. So I would like to hear from you as a student. What's your vision regarding this?
Hi, it's me again. So in your questions, it's related to AI and technology. We also know that technology is improving every day, and it always surprise people with new things, new items and apps, right? So if technology is accessed to tourism, I strongly believe that it will reduce the labor cost. However, in other side, there are some jobs that we cannot replace, and there are some customer also cannot they don't want to replace with people by technologies all the time. They want the direct experience. So some of the tourism related jobs that I can mention, which are the travel attendants or the tour guide. So in my opinion, lots of jobs cannot be replaced by machine, by robots. Is that answering your questions?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But during these years that you are receiving an education program from a prominent university in Vietnam, apart from what you are receiving from the university, which other skills or abilities or knowledge are you trying to obtain by yourself, like self-learning, for this future in which you are forecasting that many jobs may disappear? Which do you think will be the main skills that you as a student should try to acquire now for this possible future?
Okay, so there are some skills that we have to adapt, which is the online learning, right? So normally people love to work directly at school or at job or at workplace, but now we have to stay at home. So everything have to be moved automatic to online. So in my opinions, we have to be more proactive with ourselves. Our time management have to be more strict, because when it relates to jobs or study, we cannot be pushed, or we cannot be reminded by my parents or by teachers or by anyone. So we have to be proactive all the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Hannah. Now we have a question from the coordinator of the member relations in UNWTO, Mr. Becca Chakeli. Becca, we would love to hear you.
Hello, dear students, and very nice to see you. I was impressed with the solution you prepared. It was very good, very innovative, and as my colleague Sandra mentioned, systematic approach. This is very important. I have two questions, and I can directly ask you these two questions, and you can decide who will reply. So, what do you think? Which public authorities, public Spanish authorities, should be involved for the successful implementation of the solutions you presented? This is number one. And number two is, do you know, and I'm pretty sure you know, all the policy measures the Spanish government has implemented to stimulate the tourism industry, Spanish tourism industry in this time?
Now, we'd like to hear from the team on this.
Sorry, I'm taking notes.
Who would like to answer?
Hello.
Hello.
Excuse me, but this is some technical problem, but I haven't heard clearly this question too. So I really want to hear again. May I?
Okay. The both questions, yes? Let me repeat.
The second question.
Second question, okay.
Yes.
The second question then is that, do you know the policy measures the Spanish government has adopted and implemented to stimulate the Spanish tourism industry in this time?
Main tourist industry.
Okay, yeah, I have see here.
Yes, let us give.
Yeah, can you give us like a few moments to like have a discuss first?
Don't worry. Becca, you are giving them a hard time, I see. It was the idea. Thank you, Becca. Then I would like to mention, while you prepare the answer to Becca's question, that we have some comments from other teams also, and this is aligned with one of my thinking also is related to the financial part of this. I mean, we have the two sides of the coin. It's great to give wonderful ideas, but how are we going to finance them? So this would be another question that I would like some team members to start thinking about, and then we can discuss it later. So do you have the any comment for Mr. Becca's question? Okay, if you still do not have the answer, I would like to, Becca, let us leave this one on hold, because
okay, I will turn off microphone and camera temporarily and come back. Okay.
Yes, of course. They have this pending question. Oh,
wait.
yeah, please
Hi.
go ahead.
So I'm sorry, but there's a bit of a working situation here. So so to answer your question is Spanish government is actually implementing some kind of procedures in order to stop the in order to measure the pandemic situation, and we see that they are developing some robotics and technologies in order to measure the cases in the hospitals, and they are about to invest in the technologies in order to have measuring the COVID-19 things, and they also have the vaccines. I think I'm not I think, but they are also researching on the vaccine. So that is about the measurement, and for the tourism in special to be more specific. So so on the national website about the Spain tourism, I see that they are now broadcasting the image of very good one, which is Spain will wait for you. So that is a very creative idea of making people staying at home, but also still updating with Spain. So that is a good idea that we would like to study in as well in our country, but somehow we are still recommending that they should like adopt some kind of more viral marketing in order to attract people. So that is the reason why we say that the youth would be the main focus of us in our promotion strategy. So that is some of our understanding relating to Spain situation, and for this and more information you can see in our SWOT analysis as well. So if you have any more question, then maybe my answer is not really good, but that is somehow we are developing we are researching on. So if there are some improvements that we need to have, so we can add on in the later sessions of this later part of the session. I'm sorry.
Hey, Becca,
Okay.
what do you think? Would you like to re-ask a part, or is that clear for you?
No question. No question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Becca. We have another question from the coordinator of the Office of the Secretary General of UNWTO, Mr. Philippe Lemaitre. Philippe, we would like to hear your question for the team.
Yeah, hello everyone. I would like to join my colleagues in congratulating the team for their solutions. I mean, the systematic way of presentation. I got the chance of reading like other solutions, which were also very good. So I would like to congratulate everyone who's here online and has participated to the challenge, because the level is very high, and it's very good to have like such enthusiastic teams participating to this challenge. My point now would be about like the mid and the long term of the solution, and also that something that worrying all of us. I mean, we are crossing this crisis, and we are all asking, I mean, what opportunities are we going to seize in order like to change the sector once the crisis is over? I mean, what is going to be the new normality after the crisis is over? And in terms of environmental aspects, but also in terms of social aspects. I mean, how the tourism is going to be better once we recover from this crisis. I know I'm going a little bit beyond the challenge and the questions that were asked to the team. Maybe I'm maybe putting you in a bad situation, but it's really something. And even I don't know if even all other panelists want to join the conversation. I mean, that's. But it's really what matters is what's going to happen once the crisis is over. Once we have found the solutions, the technologies in order like to go over all the difficulties and going back to a certain normality. I mean, how is it going to be better after? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philippe. Who would like to answer to this interesting question?
Can I answer that question?
Yes, please.
So your question is related to tourism development once the pandemic is over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that once the crisis is over, we need to boost our domestic tourism, because the border is closed. So people like Vietnam, we are back to normal, and we don't wear masks anymore. So it's a good sign of recovering process. And once the so in the first few years, I believe that tourism in Spain as well as other, they should enhance the tourism domestically, and then once when they have reached into the stable point, we will open the border, and then we will inform and aware with other people, so they will have they will feel more secure about their travel. And during the crisis, you can see that the environment is actually being protected, because there's not much human interactions. People stay home, so the environment is actually healing. The mother nature is actually healing. So until now, I think that we are still in the process of finding solutions to how to say, to protect the environment and ensure that the tourism will be like a sustainable sector to put target on.
Thank you very much. Philippe, would you like to re-question on this?
No, I know. Thank you, Omar, and thank you for the further reply. I know it's a very complicated question, and I fully agree that the part of what you say on the domestic tourism is at midterm is probably part of the solution, and also maybe also an improvement even for the environmental issues by reducing long-haul plane and flights, and et cetera, et cetera. What we don't know is what's going to happen once international tourism will recover. Honestly, I wasn't expecting like unless you want to further reply to the question, I wasn't expecting like anyone to have an answer. I mean, it's more like a debate like to be launched among all of us.
We have another comment from Fan. Fan, please try to be
Yes.
very brief because I have many other questions from participants.
Sorry, but I want to add on my peers' opinion. Besides promoting the domestic tourism, we will also promote the responsible tourism, which means people will pay attention to the hygiene and the safety, and pay more attention to the vulnerable group, the one with the weak economic income, so that they can get through the pandemic and support the local product consumption.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I want to transfer, or is so vague?
I understand that your answer is more about like raising awareness among the different tourists, and probably this is why you have focused more your solution on youth. And yeah, I think it's part of the solution. But as I said, it's an open debate for the future. Thank you very much, really. Thank you very much for.
Thank you very much, Philippe. Now we are kind of running out of time, but I would like to ask two questions. I tried to summarize a little bit many of the questions we received from the participants. I think that many of them were already asked by the UNWTO expert and myself. But there is a repeated question that is related and is something that is being discussed nowadays a lot, but I would like to hear your thinking about this. It's about the privacy of data. I mean, all these technology solutions and AI solutions that you are proposing in your solution includes data which is private to the consumer that will be shared with companies and governments. What's your vision about it? What do you think about the legal part of it and about the ethical part of it, of having higher level organization having all our private data? If anybody would like to elaborate on this? Who would like to elaborate a little bit on this part of data privacy? Any member of the team can answer. Whoever you think it's. Pan Juan, I think, are almost ready to make your comments on this issue. Let us give them just a few seconds for them to prepare the answer. And I think we have any member of the team would like to answer on this?
I think that about the privacy, the data privacy is unavoidable, because you can see that even our websites, even our computer, iPhones, they got hacked every day. So I think that first of all, we need to build up our trust to the consumer, because you can see that once we build up the data, everything is recorded, everything is stored. So it's like a proof for people to have, like they can like sue, or they can do anything that relate to the confidential informations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. And just one last comment that I would like to make regarding some of the many of the comments we are receiving are related to the format in which this UNWTO and student leagues is working right now. And some of the questions may be, for example, why are we broadcasting this specific challenge and not the previous one? And I think that all of them were worth to do it, but I would like you to consider that none of this was planned from the beginning. We didn't have the plan of sharing any of the solution with the rest of the teams, neither organizing a webinar like this, but we see it as an opportunity, and we will try to build it from here. Of course, the previous challenges were worth it also to be shared and discussed, but let us start from this one, and we commit from UNWTO to create a platform in which you can discuss and interact among all the teams around the world. So, and I would like to make that comment, and please address to Lucy Gardner any by email or by any other means, any other doubt that you may have regarding the functioning of the UNWTO student leagues. Of course, that all this idea and experience we will implement from now on. We will try, and it's in our plans in the future, to have some feedback on each one of the solutions that we receive, but this is not how it was planned at the beginning. This is something that we are starting to do from now. So let's try to be positive and build from here. I would like to thank all the participants and the UNWTO experts, and Lucy for organizing this webinar, Tiana for giving us the operational and logistic support for having this on. I would like to thank the team, especially for being there, answering the questions from so many people. And I would like to thank all the people who participated in this webinar, and we will be open to any suggestions, and hope we can have more events like this in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your participation, and we'll keep in touch and hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.